I have transmigrated into the female lead of an ancient tragic novel, and I've contracted an illness that forces me to speak only the truth, the vicious stepsister said. Your Highness, it was Xiao Lian who begged me in tears back then, so I agreed to let her marry you in my place. I said, what nonsense. It was clearly you who despised him for being disabled, eloped with someone overnight, and then I was the one tied up and forced onto the bridal sedan chair. The villainous male supporting character said, Xiana saved me, I'm willing to do anything for her. If she wants you dead, then you must die. Me, is it possible that the one who saved you back then was actually me? Have you been repaying the wrong person all along? The brain-damaged male lead, Liana, I know I was wrong. Your relationship with the crown prince isn't real, is it? I misunderstood everything, didn't I? Me, the child is his, let me tell you. A female lead who actually speaks her mind is truly living her best life. Hello, everyone, welcome to my channel. Subscribe us to read wonderful stories every day. Now, the story begins. I am the female lead in an ancient tragic novel, the kind who never speaks up, gets misunderstood, has forced abortions, gets hung on the city wall for 3 days, falls off a cliff, and endures 81 hardships, but I never explain myself. It's all up to the male lead to figure things out on his own. Leading to a forced happy ending in the end. As soon as I transmigrated, I was forced to marry the wheelchair-bound Prince of Jin in place of my half-sister, who had eloped with someone, all because I, the legitimate daughter, had to take the fall. Prince Jin, Xiao Changming, is the male lead of this story. The wheelchair might not be real, but his illness certainly is. On the wedding night, he lifted my bridal veil, saw my unfamiliar face, and his expression immediately darkened as he threw me to the ground with force. Who are you? Where is Xiana? I knew that time travel was a dangerous thing, and breaking character could easily lead to a dog's death. To maintain my innocent, delicate white lotus persona, I bit my lip, tears welling in my eyes, and wanted to say, I don't know, but as soon as I opened my mouth, I said, return the fairy. Jiang Yunxian ran off with a poor scholar long ago. She knew you were a cripple and didn't dare delay for a moment. She left by carriage overnight. I am her legitimate younger sister, Jiang Yolian. I was somewhat surprised and immediately covered my mouth. Holy shit, what the hell is going on? Is this even something we can talk about? Xiao Changming's face turned extremely ugly, his eyes glaring at me as if they could pierce me into a sieve. He bent down, grabbed my collar, and yanked me up from the ground. What did you say? I was terrified. My heart racing like crazy, on the verge of tears, waving my hands in a panic. I wanted to say, Your Highness, you've misunderstood, that's not what I meant, but what came out was, can't you understand plain speech? Are you deaf at such a young age? Not only are your legs clumsy, but your ears are failing too. Xiao Changming stared at me fiercely, already so angry he was starting to roll his eyes. Jiang Yolian, are you trying to infuriate me to death? I tried my best to cover my mouth, to keep the words in my heart from spilling out, but I couldn't hold back. Yes, yes, hurry up and die. I'm still waiting for the feast. Xiao Changming took a deep breath, then suddenly raised his hand and gripped my chin, forcing me to look up at him. Jiang Yolian, are you being so unconventional just to catch my attention? Very well, congratulations, you've done it. The humiliation you've brought upon this king, I will never forget in this lifetime. 2 clear tears slid down my face. But what came out of my mouth was, oh, little sixth, you really hold a grudge, don't you? Damn it, the one who dumped you wasn't me, it was Jiang Yunxian. I was forced to marry you as a substitute. Okay, Xiao Changming's grip on my chin suddenly tightened, the force so great it nearly dislocated my jaw. Wasn't it you who craved vanity and wanted to be this prince's consort? Me? Oh, cut the crap. It was my scumbag father, afraid of your power and status, who had no choice but to send me as a substitute bride. After all, I am the legitimate daughter, yet I have to substitute for a concubine-born daughter in marriage. How unlucky. My ability to speak the truth is a bit too fierce. Even Xiao Changming, the domineering male lead, is somewhat unable to handle it. He glanced at me with a complicated expression, hesitating to speak. Are you really the legitimate daughter of Minister Jiang? Me, isn't that right? Wanted to marry a concubine's daughter, but ended up getting the legitimate daughter instead. You must be over the moon. My scumbag father is the Vice Minister of War. He's just a bit timid, but he holds a high and powerful position. Okay, Xiao Changming gripped my waist, and after a long moment, instead of getting angry, he laughed. He turned to the guard Han Xiao beside him and said, "Investigate this. I want to know, is this thing truly the legitimate daughter of Minister Jiang?" Han Xiao glanced at me sympathetically, then cupped his hands and left. "Yes, Your Highness, it's over. It's all over." I closed my eyes, pretending to faint. "Please let me leave this beautiful world immediately." Xiao Changming's arm around me suddenly tightened. "Why did you faint?" My lips twitched, and my eyes snapped open instantly. "Not at all. I was faking it." "Hehe, Xiao Changming." I covered my face, tears slipping through my fingers. "Hehehe." Because of my shocking words on the wedding night, Xiao Changming, who was originally supposed to demote me to a lowly servant girl in the original plot, completely forgot about it. Xiao Changming has been busy tracking down Jiang Yunxian's whereabouts these past few days and hasn't had time to deal with me, so I, the female lead of this tragic story, have been barely surviving under the title of Jin Princess Consort. Xiao Changming's birth mother passed away early, and the household is managed by his wet nurse, Nanny Wu. Nanny Wu holds great power. She has always been delusionally hoping to have her own daughter, Quia, climb into Xiao Changming's bed, but Xiao Changming fell in love at first sight with that cup of green tea, Jiang Yunxian, and insisted on marrying no one but her. They were very unwilling to accept this. Upon learning that I was a substitute bride and had been found out, and that Xiao Changming didn't care for me at all, they began to feign compliance while secretly acting against me, planning to cut back on my meals. Although I was unconvinced in my heart, I didn't plan to argue with them. After all, I was living under someone else's roof, but my illness was too severe, and I couldn't help but speak my mind involuntarily. "Oh, just a few rotten vegetable leaves. Even pigs wouldn't eat these." Right, what's going on? The prestigious Jin Manor serves its princess consort such food. Has your prince gone bankrupt? Mother Wu and Siyue were so angry they glared at me with their eyes. I couldn't help but blurt out, oh dear, this is terrible. The wicked servants are about to bully their master, Lan Xiang. Quickly go and fetch the prince to come see this. Lan Xiang is my dowry maid, and these past few days, she has been utterly stunned by my shocking remarks. Hearing that I had actually confronted Nanny Wu and her daughter, she whispered in my ear, "Miss, I heard that this Nanny Wu is the prince's wet nurse, and her daughter Quia grew up with the prince since childhood. The implication was that I should avoid provoking them. I don't want to provoke them either, but my mouth has a mind of its own. So what? Just because she's the prince's wet nurse, does that mean she can disregard social hierarchy and overstep her bounds? Could it be that she thinks I stole her daughter's position as princess consort, and wants to put me in my place? She's too delusional. Her daughter, with her pointy face and monka-like features, can't even catch the prince's eye. Otherwise, why hasn't she even managed to become a concubine after all these years?" Even as I said these words, I couldn't help covering my mouth as tears streamed down my face. The original work is a mindless tragedy novel, and this Quia and Matron Wu are truly vicious, capable of any evil deed. Could it be that they plan to drug me, scar my face, and dump me in a mass grave, just like in the original story, to avoid being disposed of without anyone noticing? I decided to strike first and make a scene. I pulled Matron Wu's hair and scratched Quia's face. Xiao Changming couldn't find Jiang Yunxian these past few days, not even a trace of her, probably holed up in her room, feeling emo. When he heard that I had gotten into a fight with his wet nurse and maid, he came zooming over in his wheelchair and, without even asking for an explanation, immediately pointed at my nose and started yelling, "Jiang Yolian, you troublemaking woman, what kind of mischief are you up to now? Are you trying to get my attention again? I'm telling you, even if you do this, I won't even glance at you. Heavens above, how is this causing trouble? It's clearly a reasonable act of resistance, okay?" I didn't speak, but instead took advantage of Xiao Changming's inattention to pick up a piece of rotten vegetable leaf and stuff it into his mouth. Xiao Changming's face immediately changed dramatically, and he spat it out with a P2E, P2E, P2E. Jiang Yolian, you wretched woman. What did you just feed me? Something this disgusting. Even pigs wouldn't eat it. I think Xiao Changming has finally spoken a fair word. I turned to Mother Wu and Quia and said, "Did you hear that?" This was spoken by your prince himself. Then, with tears in my eyes, I clenched my fists and accused, Your Highness, is this what the princess of your Jin manor eats? Not even 3 dishes and a soup. No wonder Jiang Yunxian ran off with that poor scholar. It turns out you're even more stingy than him. Upon hearing my words, Xiao Changming's face instantly darkened to the color of soot. He glared furiously at Mother Wu and Quia. What on earth is going on, Mother Wu? Knowing Xiao Changming's temperament well, hurriedly explained, Your Highness, please calm your anger. It must be the servants below who don't know the rules and have neglected the princess consort. This old servant will go immediately. But Quia was quite arrogant and said to Xiao Changming, Your Highness, what kind of princess consort is this woman? She's nothing but a fake bride sent as a substitute. I heard that on the wedding night. This woman made you so angry, Your Highness, that you stormed out. Quia just wanted to help you teach her a lesson. Although I may be a bit cowardly, my mouth is quite brave. It blurts out all my true thoughts without holding back. Hearing Quia's words, I really couldn't hold back anymore. You're standing up for him. What's your status? How dare you have the nerve? The Jin manor truly has great rules. Even a maid dares to skimp on the princess's meals, claiming it's to vent the prince's anger. Your Highness, are these two your wet nurse and maid, or are they your ancestors? I've given up. I'm beyond caring. Even if they come to climb through my window tonight, I'm still going to say it. Lan Xiang saw me picking a fight again and was on the verge of tears. She tugged at my sleeve, shaking her head at me with tear-filled eyes. Miss, please say less. I wish I could say less, but I just can't control myself. Not only do I have a condition that forces me to speak the truth, but I also have an urge to speak it out without holding back. Xiao Changming was trembling with anger at me, paired with his already cold expression. The temperature in the entire room seemed to drop by several degrees, and the people around couldn't help but shiver. Everyone looked at me with pity. Thinking I was doomed, unexpectedly, Xiao Changming spoke up. Then tell me, what do you want to eat? I froze. Is he trying to improve my meals? I wanted to say that a simple 3 dishes and 1 soup would be fine, but to my surprise, I ended up reciting a long list of dishes as soon as I opened my mouth. Steamed lamb, steamed bear paw, steamed deer tail, roasted duck, roasted young chicken, roasted goose. Then, I saw Xiao Changming fall silent for a long moment before turning to me and saying, The dietary standards of a princess consort like you are something our Jin manor cannot afford. From today onward, you are demoted to a chambermaid, with only 3 dishes and 1 soup per day. I was completely stunned. Wait, didn't I just mock Quia for not even being able to become a chambermaid? I think, as a female lead in a tragic romance, the root of all misery is falling for the male lead. Although I didn't end up like in the original plot, becoming a lowly maid, washing clothes, sweeping floors, wiping tables, and doing dishes, living a life both fragile and resilient. But he said I'd be a chambermaid. A chambermaid has to sleep with him. I can't possibly sleep with him. I immediately refused. Your Highness, why don't you just divorce me? I'll go back to my own home and eat there. Xiao Changming mercilessly rejected me. You're dreaming. The Jiang family lost this prince's consort and sent you over instead. You should have known the consequences when this prince finds out. You stay put in the Jin manor. Unless Minister Jiang finds your sister and delivers her to this prince, don't even think about leaving for the rest of your life. Oh, he's so twisted, so dark, so insane. I don't like it. I want to say, Your Highness, spare me. I was wrong. But what comes out is, could it be that you're intrigued by my uniqueness and have taken an interest in me? On the surface, you claim to be detaining me because of Jiang Yunxian. But in reality, you just want to keep me by your side. Your Highness, you truly are at sunder. My words fell, and the surroundings plunged into a deathly silence, so quiet you could hear a pin drop. Even Quia, who regarded me as an enemy, suddenly looked at me with sympathy in her eyes. Inside, I was crying my heart out. He. I can't be the first female lead in a tragic story to die because of a sharp tongue. Right. Xiao Changming enunciated each word deliberately. Jiang Yulian. You claim that I have feelings for you. Is that right? I will prove to you right now whether I have any interest in you or not. I'm freaking out. No, why should I know such a thing? But Xiao Changming's men had already come to hold me down. Then, he sold me to brothel, as everyone knows. The female leads in angst-filled stories are always miserable, because there is a male lead who has been constantly tormenting her. The male lead in this tragic novel, Xiao Changming, seems to have some serious issues, with a twisted and unpredictable personality. One moment, I don't love her, I'm only keeping her to torment her. The next moment, why is it that even though I love her sister, I feel heartache when I see her get hurt? Then, to prove that he didn't love the female lead, he intensified his abuse of her even more. Now that I've become this abused female lead in the novel, with my big mouth, Xiao Changming would never love me, so all that remained for him was to torment me. He had me dressed up in flashy dance attire that exposed my waist, arms, and legs, with a neckline that was scandalously low, forcing me to dance in front of everyone. When I saw my stunningly beautiful self in the mirror, I couldn't help but praise, "Damn, I'm gorgeous." The brothel's madam had dressed me in a Dunhuang Feichin-style dance costume, full of exotic charm with flowing ribbons, and even gave me a peeper, for a true noble lady. This might have been an insult, and as a LSP like me, I just want to drool over it. I am so beautiful, I want to get close to myself. Indeed, when faced with something beautiful, no matter how much you resist or dislike it in your heart, the drool at the corner of your mouth will still flow down honestly. Xiao Changming's eyes went wide when he saw my outfit, his eyes darkened, and his fingers lightly tapped on the wheelchair armrest, producing a faint click, click sound, the meaning unclear. I was deeply afraid that he might develop any thoughts about me, so I quickly nipped his ideas in the bud. Your Highness, are you perhaps thinking, oh, why do I find this woman so damnably beautiful right now, even though I can't stand her? Please don't forget, I'm only a substitute for my sister's marriage. The one you love is my sister. Xiao Changming's hand suddenly clenched as he issued the order in a low voice. Send her down. Oh, I'm dying, I'm dying. A life of time travel without a talent show is incomplete. I was half pushed and half willing, with tears in my eyes, as I was shoved onto the stage. Xiao Changming sat in the top-tier private booth, looking down at me from above. I shyly covered my chest, looking at him with a pitiful expression. A flicker of struggle and emotion seemed to pass through his eyes. The next second, I snapped my fingers, "Play the music." Then she performed an absolutely breathtaking dance of the Who people, playing the peeper behind her back. In an instant, his skill amazed the entire audience, drawing thunderous applause from the hall. The men on the scene scrambled to raise their hands and throw things: copper coins, silver ingots, jade pendants, fresh flowers, basically anything valuable was tossed. The brothel madam's grin stretched almost to her ears as she picked up the money, laughing all the while. Oh my, so much money. She had no idea who I was. Nor did she know that Xiao Changming was a prince. Overwhelmed with excitement, she grabbed me, looking as though she wished we had met sooner. "Young lady, you truly are a character, born to excel in this line of work. Our Qianxiang Pavilion needs talent like you." Then, turning to Xiao Changming, she said, "Sir, is this young lady under your command for sale? Name your price, and I'll pay whatever you ask." Xiao Changming was so angry he wanted to curse, while Lan Xiang knelt weeping at his feet. "Master, I beg you, please don't sell my young lady. Our young lady has been frail and sickly since childhood. In a place like this, she won't be able to endure it." Xiao Changming, who had been about to refuse, let out a cold laugh, a trace of distortion appearing on his face. "You're too kind, Madam Li. She's just a maid who serves in the bedchamber. If Madam Li fancies her, I'll gladly give her to you." Then she said to me viciously, "Since you're so good at dancing, you can dance all you want at Tianxiang Tower." I looked at Lan Xiang, who was sobbing at Xiao Changming's feet, and forced a faint smile. How can you say it wasn't well done? It has to be said, Madam Li does have a good eye for talent. After she took me from Xiao Changming, she spent a fortune to package me into the top courtesan. I said, "I sell my skills, not my body, otherwise, I won't dance." Mama Li patted my shoulder with a smile. "Understood. I understand, dear. That gentleman even gave me 10,000 taels of silver before he left, telling me to take good care of you. You just focus on dancing here, my dear. When I make it big, I certainly won't treat you unfairly." "Oh, I really like this Mema." I held her hand in return. "Oh, then can I get a share of that 10,000 taels?" Mama Li glanced at me, then suddenly picked up her handkerchief to adjust her hairpin. her eyes darting around aimlessly. What? You want to eat pastries? All right, my dear daughter, mommy will go get them for you right away. Well, there's some mother-daughter affection, but not much, and so, I became a professional performer in the pleasure quarters. At first, Madam Lee wanted me to dance every day. I said, that won't be effective. Once a month is enough to build anticipation. Do you understand the concept of hunger marketing? Madam Lee said. Of course I know. I've spent so much money building up the hype. Making you the star courtesan. If you only perform once a month, you'll starve everyone at our Qianxiang pavilion to death. After some bargaining, my work schedule was temporarily adjusted to working 5 days and resting 1. I grumbled and complained, which top courtesan works every single day, working 5 days straight with only 1 day off. Even a workhorse in the production team wouldn't be driven that hard. Mother Lee cried with a great sense of grievance. My daughter. It's just that recently, in order to build momentum and help you defeat the other courtesans, we spent far too much silver, whether it's hiring famous artists for portraits, scholars to compose poems, or buying clothes and jewelry, which one doesn't require pouring in real gold and silver. Just endure this hardship for a while. Once we recoup the costs, I'll let you work 1 day and rest for 5. I looked at her, pursed my lips, and said nothing. Why do I feel a bit inexplicably moved? To be honest, I've thought about running away before, but Xiao Changming, as the male lead of a tragic novel, truly embodies the word dog to the fullest. He not only gave Mother Lee money to take care of me but also sent people to guard me. His personal guard Han Xiao, along with several other guards, stood watch at the foot of Qianxiang Tower every day. Every time I tried to escape, before I could even take a step, they would catch me and bring me back. Auntie Lian, the prince has given orders. You are not to step even half a foot outside Qianxiang Tower. I clicked my tongue and raised my hand to poke Han Xiao's chest. Listen. Just listen. Is this something a decent person would say? Back at the prince's mansion, you called me princess consort, but now you call me concubine Lian. Are you even being polite? I'm telling you, what you're doing is called forcing a virtuous woman into prostitution. Han Xiao looked honest and timid. I kept poking at him, and he kept dodging, until he was directly forced into a corner. His back hit the wall with a thud. Your Highness. He was just about to speak when an angry roar came from behind him. What are you doing? I looked up and saw that it was Xiao Changming, whom I hadn't seen for half a month. I thought that in such a situation, I should act submissive, tug at his clothes and cry pitifully, making him heartbroken and soft-hearted, so that he would let me go. After all, although the treatment at Qianxiang Tower is good, it's not exactly a proper path. However, as soon as she opened her mouth, she couldn't hold back. Oh, Your Highness, here for some fun. Han Xiao, Xiao Changming, me, did I accidentally reveal something again? Xiao Changming was already numb to my shocking remarks, so he wasn't here to cause trouble for me, but to cause trouble for Han Xiao. Ha, you're having quite a good time here, aren't you? Han Xiao, I ordered you to keep an eye on this woman, and this is how you do it. Young Han Xiao was thin-skinned. How could he stand hearing such words? His face instantly flushed bright red. Your Highness, you've misunderstood. There is nothing between this subordinate and the princess consort. Xiao Changming angrily said. I saw it with my own 2 eyes, in broad daylight, under the watchful eyes of everyone. You dare to be all lovey-dovey right in front of me. Do you think I'm dead? I pouted, my lips tightly pressed together, tears welling up in my eyes. Oh, is the prince jealous? You were the one who threw me into the brothel. You were the one who made me dance on stage. You were the one who had people watch me so I couldn't run away. Now you have the nerve to accuse me of being intimate with another man. How shameless can you be? It was still morning, and the girls in the building were still asleep. Qianxiang Tower hadn't opened for business yet, but my words instantly caught the attention of many people. The windows upstairs were flung open all at once, and from them emerged a bunch of nosy, gossipy heads. I couldn't hold back my urge to vent and started yelling at the people upstairs. That's right. This cripple in the wheelchair is the Prince of Jin, and I am the princess he just married last month. He actually wanted to marry my sister, but she eloped with someone, so my parents pushed me into this instead. He threw me into the brothel because he's sick. He gets off on watching his own wife with other men. Before I could finish my words, Xiao Changming yanked me over and roughly covered my mouth. Shut your mouth for this prince. By this time, Mama Li and the guards from Tianxiang Tower had arrived. They were all startled by the scene before them. It was Mama Li, having seen more of the world, who approached with a beaming smile. "My lord, you've returned. Are you here to see our Miss Liana?" I struggled to speak. "He's not. He's here to cause trouble." Mama Li was quite imposing, and said coldly, "Causing trouble? Then don't blame me for being impolite." As soon as Mama Li finished speaking, a dozen burly guards with sticks surrounded us. Xiao Changming's guard shouted, "How dare you? This is His Highness, the Prince of Jin. How dare you be so insolent?" I immediately looked at Madame Li with a pitiful expression. I am her cash cow. She can't just ignore me. Sure enough, Madame Li was incredibly fierce, planting her hands on her hips and scolding. "So what if it's Prince Jin? Does being Prince Jin give you the right to bully people? This is Tianxiang Tower, not the Prince Jin's residence. Liana is the star of our establishment. Anyone who dares to harm her is picking a fight with Tianxiang Tower." Xiao Changming hadn't expected Madame Li to turn hostile so suddenly, and his expression darkened. "She's my personal maid. I can leave her here, and I can certainly take her away." Mother Li sneered coldly, grabbed my hand, and snatched me away from Xiao Changming. "I'm sorry, but you can't take this person away. You were the one who personally sent her here in the first place. Once she's here, she belongs to my Tianxiang pavilion." I was deeply moved. "Mother Li, you truly are my good mother. I'd rather work all year round than be a concubine for the Prince of Jin." "You," Xiao Changming looked at us, trembling with anger, and wanted to confront Madame Li. Someone whispered in his ear, "Your Highness, this Tianxiang pavilion is the Crown Prince's property." He spoke very softly, but I heard every word clearly. "The Crown Prince, isn't that the villainous male supporting character in the book? The one who fought fiercely with the male lead, only to be outmaneuvered in the end and meet his demise? In ancient romance novels, the domineering male lead always has a certain aura about him." Xiao Changming is the youngest son of the current emperor, while Xiao Changheng is the crown prince. Xiao Changheng's mother is the legitimate empress, still alive. While Xiao Changming's mother was consort Xian, who passed away early, Xiao Changheng is capable and resourceful, with both talent and strategy. Xiao Changming is in a wheelchair and has that serious illness, but Xiao Changming is the male lead, and Xiao Changheng is the supporting male character. Because Xiao Changming's mother was the emperor's first love, and the emperor also believed that the empress was responsible for the death of his first love, so, every day, he neglected and suppressed the crown prince and empress, secretly supporting the male lead behind their backs. The crown prince, realizing that no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't gain his father's approval, and seeing his mother in tears every time he entered the palace, turned dark. He then proceeded to do a series of things targeting the male lead. Specifically, he made things difficult for him, framed him, tried to assassinate him, and kidnapped his wife. "Ah, yes, that's right, that was me. Now you're telling me that the crown prince Xiao Changheng, who in the original plot kidnapped both me and Jiang Yunxian and asked Xiao Changming which one to save first, is actually my boss." "Whoa whoa whoa," I cried, this time for real. As soon as Xiao Changming heard that Tianxiang Tower was the crown prince's business, he immediately exploded. "What about the crown prince's businesses? This woman is mine." Mama Li fanned herself gently. "She's yours, but you gave her to me. You forgot. You also gave me 10,000 taels of silver, telling me to take good care of her." Xiao Changming's face turned darker than the bottom of a pot. He clenched his fists and glared fiercely at Madame Li. "She is this prince's consort. Whether you hand her over willingly or not, you will hand her over today." Mother Li was taken aback. "The princess consort? But I heard that your highness's princess consort is the daughter of Vice Minister of War, Lord Jiang, named Jiang Yunxian." Tears streaming down my face, I shook my head frantically. "My name is not Jiang Yunxian. My name is Jiang Yolian, nor is she his princess. I'm just a concubine." I've decided. I'm going to firmly and resolutely draw a line with Xiao Changming. I don't want to be kidnapped, poisoned, and then tied to that green tea Jiang Yunxian. Forcing Xiao Changming to choose one of us, whoever wants to be the tragic heroine can go ahead and do it. Xiao Changming and I clearly never had any romantic storyline, not even a hint of ambiguity, but because I always argued with him, I still caught his attention. He glared at me fiercely. "You are my woman, and I will definitely take you away." I couldn't help but retort, "You're the one who brought me here, aren't you?" Xiao Changming actually yelled at me, "That's not important." Then, with a command, "Seize her." And then, the guards behind him charged forward. When Mother Li saw this, how could she let it be? She sent out her own guards, and so the two sides started fighting. Seeing the chaos, Han Xiao tried to seize the opportunity to capture me. Luckily, I was quick-witted and ran out first. They started fighting. It's not too much to ask for me to escape in the chaos, is it? But I'd been confined to the Heavenly Fragrance Pavilion for half a month. My movements restricted to my own room and the main building. I had no idea this pavilion was so vast, and I accidentally ran in the wrong direction. Instead of reaching the main entrance, I ended up in the back courtyard and stumbled into a private villa. As soon as I entered, I saw a hazy scene before my eyes. It was actually the back of a man taking a shower. The man had jet black hair cascading like a waterfall and seemed to be resting with his eyes closed. Because I was running too fast and couldn't stop, I plunged headfirst into the water, crashing into his back and making intimate contact with it, a classic faceplant. My nose immediately stung with pain, and 2 streams of blood trickled down from the tip of my nose. Dazed and dizzy, I stared at the back in front of me, quickly assessing it. Broad shoulders, narrow waist, well-proportioned muscles, an inverted triangle, panting asterisk. Then I slipped into the water and gulped down 2 mouthfuls of bathwater. Just as I thought I was about to become the first tragic romance heroine to drown from faceplanting into someone's back, a strong, powerful hand abruptly fished me out of the water. The next second, my eyes met a pair of icy, abyss-like pupils. "Who are you?" Those were eyes of stark contrast between black and white, with exquisitely defined and 3-dimensional features, as if carved by a master. Sharp brows, starry eyes, jet black hair, and crimson lips. If Xiao Changming's appearance could barely be considered seductively wild and untamed due to the protagonist's halo, then the man before me was simply handsome, 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 handsome. I have never seen such a good-looking man. I was so mesmerized that I stared blankly, and a shameless drool slipped from the corner of my mouth. "Mom, I'm in love." The man frowned at my dazed expression and glanced at my outfit. "Are you one of the girls from the building?" I quickly wiped the drool from my mouth. Yes, I'm the courtesan. Are you also from this establishment? Don't misunderstand, I just think you're good-looking. I'm not trying to solicit your services." My words brought a layer of amusement to the coldly handsome man's eyes. He lowered his head to look at me. "Are you interested in me?" Me. I stared at the handsome guy in front of me, forcibly finding a 30% resemblance to Xiao Changming in his features. Could this person be the villainous crown prince Xiao Changheng? No sooner had this thought flashed through my mind than Xiao Changming and his guards burst in. Mama Li outside tried desperately to stop them. "Your Highness Prince Jin, you cannot enter." The door was forced open. Guards and servants lay scattered on the ground. Xiao Changming's wheelchair rolled in from outside. Seeing the situation between me and Xiao Changheng, his face instantly darkened. "What are you doing?" Mama Li rushed over in a panic. "Your Highness the Crown Prince." Prince Jin insisted on coming in. I couldn't stop him. Seeing me actually leaning against Xiao Changheng, her face turned deathly pale. "Liana, you." Seeing so many people all of a sudden, I was startled and instinctively wrapped my arms tightly around Xiao Changheng's neck. At my action, Xiao Changming's eyes turned red with anger, and he gritted his teeth as he called my name, Jiang Yulian. My eyes welled up with tears, my body delicate and soft. I lay helplessly on Xiao Changheng's chest. "Your Highness, please listen to me. I truly didn't have any ulterior motives or improper thoughts about the Crown Prince." Then, my hand seized the opportunity to quickly caress Xiao Changheng's chest muscles twice, causing them to tense up. After my mouth had a mind of its own. Now my hand does too. Xiao Changming was so angry he almost jumped out of his wheelchair. Xiao Changheng, however, was much calmer than Xiao Changming. He gripped my shoulder, preventing me from slipping into the water. He glanced at me sideways and asked Xiao Changming, "What's your relationship with sixth brother?" That damned, lazy, cunning aura, I said. "I have nothing to do with him. If His Royal Highness the Crown Prince doesn't mind, we could certainly have something, this time." Xiao Changming was so enraged he actually stood up from his wheelchair. "Jiang Yulian, you are my consort. And you dare to betray me and collude with the crown prince, adultery. That's such an ugly thing to say. I absolutely have to clap back. What consort? At most, I'm your sister-in-law. I admit I was a substitute bride, but you didn't want me either, did you? You demoted me to a concubine, then threw me into a brothel. What's with all this lingering entanglement? Then she hugged Xiao Chongheng tightly. You wouldn't, by any chance, be unable to stand me being with His Royal Highness the Crown Prince, would you? I admit there was an element of deliberately taking advantage, but the greater purpose was to draw a clear line with Xiao Changming. After all, I really have nothing to do with him. Soon, Jiang Yunxian will be back, and then there will be tea art demonstrations and all sorts of schemes against me. I'm tired, I don't want to play along with her. Hearing my words, Xiao Chongheng's hand on my shoulder tightened, making our posture seem even more intimate. Sixth brother, you heard it too. This lady says she has nothing to do with you, she wants to be with me. Xiao Changming widened his eyes, his gaze filled with a mix of 3 parts grievance, 3 parts regret, and 7 parts shameful anger. You too, I will remember today's humiliation, and one day I will repay it in full, I sniffled, appearing even more fragile. Little sixth, what nonsense are you talking? A prince actually dares to speak of revenge in front of His Highness the Crown Prince. Have you lost your mind? Your Highness the Crown Prince, he harbors rebellious intentions, arrest him. I, the female lead in this tragic story, am taking the path of the villainess. Leaving the villainess with nowhere to go, Xiao Chongheng's chest jolted abruptly. I looked up at him in confusion and saw the corners of his mouth twitching slightly, as if he were trying to hold back a laugh. Me, Your Highness, are you trying not to laugh? Xiao Chongheng put on a stern face and gave a low cough. Guards, throw the Prince of Jin out for me. As soon as Xiao Chongheng finished speaking, a group of black-clad hidden guards jumped down from the roof beam. In the blink of an eye, they threw everyone in the room out. I stared wide-eyed at the roof, utterly shocked. Such a small room could hide so many people. Does Your Highness the Crown Prince enjoy being watched while bathing? Xiao Chongheng, shut up. Me, wah. Everyone had been cleared out, leaving only Xiao Chongheng and me alone in the room. He released me, turned, and went ashore. My gaze involuntarily followed his figure. I watched as he stepped up the stairs, his strong and firm physique gradually emerging from the water's surface. Biting my finger, I took a deep breath, not even daring to exhale, afraid I might miss something. Xiao Chongheng seemed to sense my thoughts. He paused for a moment, then picked up the robe beside him, unfolded it with a swish, and draped it over himself. I only caught a fleeting glimpse of Snow White, and then it was gone. Damn it, why didn't I get a system when I crossed over? Then I could pause and replay. He, unlike earlier when he was in front of Xiao Changming, showing off both his chest muscles and his toned abs, as if sensing my desire for his body. Xiao Chongheng wrapped his robe tightly, revealing only his slender neck and exquisite Adam's apple, making his entire figure appear even more striking and captivating. That face is as small as a palm, that jawline is sharper than my life plan. My dance costume was already made of very little fabric, and after getting wet, it clung to my body, perfectly accentuating my curvaceous and well-proportioned figure. I sat sideways on the ground, one hand covering my face, my expression full of delicate shyness, yet, my body involuntarily curved into an S shape, and I even pushed forward my proud buns a little. Your Highness, I didn't mean to take advantage of you on purpose. It's truly that His Highness the Prince of Jin has gone too far, failing to force my sister into marriage. He took his anger out on me, her younger sister. I, the legitimate daughter of the Minister of War, was forced by him to perform in a brothel. Your Highness, I've suffered so much. Boo-hoo-hoo. Xiao Chongheng glanced at me. So what do you want to do about it? I pursed my lips. Send me back. Then I caught sight of his jade-white, slender fingers and blurted out something shocking. Or you could take me in. I've heard His Highness the Crown Prince hasn't married yet. Looking into Xiao Chongheng's dark eyes, I was on the verge of tears. What am I even doing? 19. Xiao Chongheng heard my words, bent down, and lifted my chin. His tone carried a hint of disdain. You want to be the Crown Princess? I shook my head in a fluster. You are not worthy, not worthy. I only wish to be the Crown Prince's concubine, or even just a chambermaid. However, just after I had established my persona as a lovesick woman, I ended up shooting myself in the foot, but you cannot take a principal wife, secondary wives, concubines, and I must be the only chambermaid. Xiao Changheng was amused by my anger. Then what's the difference between you being a concubine and the crown princess? My face flushed red, full of coquettish shyness, as I spoke the most shameless words with the most innocent expression. Then being the crown princess would work too. Xiao Changheng smiled, and his smile was exceptionally handsome, as if 100 flowers were blooming all at once. It felt like a grand fireworks display had erupted in my mind. He waved his hand at me. Come here. I got up from the ground and walked over to his side. He glanced at me, leaning back. How do I know this isn't a clever act you and the Prince of Jin have put on? Are you actually a spy sent by the Prince of Jin? Me. And then, he flung open his robe. Prove it to me. I froze, standing there in a daze, unable to speak for a long while. Is this really happening? The handsome man I fell in love with at first sight wants to get intimate with me. What should I do? Should I play hard to get? Pretend to resist a little, or act like I'm refusing at first? While I was still hesitating, my mouth moved faster than my mind, making the decision for me. I pounced on Xiao Changheng, pinned him down on the couch, and kissed him. Hurry up, although, in the end, I didn't succeed. Xiao Changheng slapped me away with one hand, but I did indeed kiss him, and he took me in as his only chambermaid, from the prince's consort, to the top courtesan in the brothel. And now the chambermaid of the villainous male supporting character, truly a tragic heroine. That's me. After Xiao Changheng took me in, the first thing he did was bring me to the Minister of Personnel's residence to make it official. First, I recounted everything Xiao Changming had done to me, to my scumbag father and my mother. Then I looked at Xiao Changheng with a face full of affection. The Prince of Jin is utterly depraved and beastly, thanks to the Crown Prince's rescue. Your daughter has escaped from that living hell. Your daughter is forever indebted to the Crown Prince for his great kindness. The only way I can repay him is by offering myself in marriage. I beg father and mother to grant your permission. Xiao Changheng also spoke up from the side. Minister Jiang, I wish to take Miss Jiang as my consort. This is the betrothal gift. Hearing this, my heart leaped with joy. I tugged on Xiao Changheng's sleeve and whispered, I thought I was to be a chambermaid. Xiao Changheng whispered close to my ear, his voice warm and seductive. Don't want it, I can take it back. I quickly grabbed his hand. I want it, thank you. Husband, love you, more, darling, you're the best, my scumbag dad and my mother. My parents didn't hesitate long before agreeing to Xiao Changheng taking me as his concubine. After all, their worthless daughter was practically throwing herself at him, and in their eyes, given my past as a fallen woman, the Crown Prince still wanting me was already a blessing from our ancestors' graves. What more could I possibly ask for? However, my scoundrel father still hesitated. But, what about Prince Jin? Xiao Changheng snorted coldly. With me as your son-in-law. Is Minister Jiang still not satisfied? Could it be that you want to please both sides? I quickly urged my scumbag father. Father, agree quickly. His Highness the Crown Prince is the future heir to the throne. No matter how favored Prince Jin is, he's still a concubine-born son and has difficulty walking. Father, don't make a mistake that will ruin you. In the original plot, Xiao Changming overthrew the Crown Prince and seized the throne, with significant help from my scumbag father, the Minister of War, and his faction. My marriage to Xiao Changheng would directly cut off one of his arms. After all, a father-in-law should always help his own son-in-law, shouldn't he? I spoke so bluntly that it scared my scumbag father pale. He trembled as he looked at Xiao Changheng. Your Highness, my daughter is simple-minded and speaks without thinking. But Xiao Changheng said, I think Liana is right, scumbag dad. The reason scumbag dad had previously forced me into a substitute marriage was out of fear of Xiao Changming's power. Now that there was the even more powerful Xiao Changheng, he naturally dared to go against Xiao Changming. He immediately agreed to our marriage, and as an afterthought, he even submitted a memorial, impeaching Xiao Changming. Selling the legitimate daughter of a prominent minister's household into a brothel is an utterly heinous act, a blatant disregard for the law. Even if he was born of the emperor's beloved, his most cherished youngest son, the emperor could not simply turn a blind eye. Sixth Prince, you have truly disappointed me. I sentence you to half a year of house arrest. reflect deeply on your actions within your residence. Then he generously rewarded the Jiang family and held a grand wedding ceremony for me and Xiao Changheng. Although the wedding of a crown prince taking a concubine is not as grand as marrying a principal wife, many officials still came to celebrate and drink at the wedding banquet. Xiao Changheng had no other women, so the servants in the crown prince's residence treated me with even greater respect. Sitting in the bridal chamber with the veil over my head, I was filled with inner turmoil. Later in the bridal chamber, should we do it this way, or that way? Let's do both. Should we have a son, or a daughter? Let's have both, because the last maid, Lan Xiang, was not very reliable. I have changed to a different bridesmaid this time.
As he was being dragged away, Xiao Changheng muttered to himself, "Liana, have you never liked me even a little bit?" I raised my hand and touched my stomach. I'm pregnant, and the child is his. At that moment, I seemed to hear the sound of my heart breaking. The male lead in a tragic novel is still so fragile-hearted. How unlucky. The troublemakers were all cleared out, leaving only me and Xiao Changheng in the room. He raised his hand and pressed me onto the bed, his slightly cool hand slipping under my clothes and resting on my lower abdomen. Pregnant. How come I don't remember? Then he pinched the extra flesh that had grown on my belly. Me, I suppose I'm pregnant with the child of braised pork knuckle in rock sugar, red braised lion's head meatballs, roasted squab, beggar's chicken, sweet and sour pork ribs. Xiao Changheng smiled, reached out to scoop me into his embrace, and pinched my cheek. What did you sneak to eat just now? I took out a handful of peanuts and sunflower seeds. Want some? Xiao Changheng, I don't believe it. I need to taste it myself. Then he lowered his head and kissed my lips, because I didn't fall in love with the male lead and instead married the supporting male character. I, the female lead of this tragic novel, wasn't subjected to any suffering. On the contrary, it's the toxic male leads in angsty novels who, due to their obsessive love, fall into deep depression and lose all will to live after losing their beloved. Although, I truly have no idea where his love for me comes from. After much thought, I can only conclude that he has a masochistic streak. The more harshly I scold him, the more he likes it. Later, I heard that someone tried to imitate me by boldly cursing Xiao Changming in front of him, hoping to catch his attention, but their outcomes were not very good. He said, "In this world, only Liana is allowed to curse at me like this. Don't cue me, thank you. I am very happy with my villainous crown prince." Half a year after I married Xiao Changheng, Jiang Yunxian, who had eloped with a poor scholar, returned. She was disheveled, emaciated, dressed in white, looking so fragile that a gust of wind could knock her over, and she collapsed at the entrance of the Jin Prince's mansion. Coincidentally, my carriage passed by the Jin Prince's mansion that day, and Xiao Changming was also about to go out, so the three of us just ran into each other like that. The plot instantly came rolling in like a tidal wave. Jiang Yunxian glanced at me, adorned in gold and silver and glowing with health, a flicker of envy flashing in her eyes. In a melodious voice, she called out, "Your Highness." After all, she is Xiao Changming's white moonlight. Seeing her like this, Xiao Changming's heart aches. He immediately reached out to support her. "Xiana, what's wrong with you? How did you end up like this?" Jiang Yunxian began to play the victim. "Back then, Liana said she liked you, Your Highness, and begged me to give up the position of Jin Princess to her. Since childhood, I've always doted on this younger sister and granted her every wish. I never expected she would send someone to kidnap and sell me, leaving me to wander destitute. Then, she threw herself in front of my carriage. Sister, I can let go of all the past grievances. I don't ask for you to return the position of princess consort to me. I only beg you to let me be a concubine, a maid, anything. As long as I can stay by Prince Jin's side." I quickly pulled my foot back. How filthy. Stay away from me." Jiang Yunxian felt very wronged. "Sister, how can you say that? The position and status you have now should have been mine." Hong Do was now the chief stewardess of the Eastern Palace, and her aura was completely different from before. She immediately slapped Jiang Yunxian across the face. "How dare you? My mistress is the crown prince's consort, not the wife of the Prince of Jin. Miss Jiang, please show some self-respect, otherwise, if this gets to our crown prince's ears, you won't like the consequences." The original host was weak and easily bullied, so even her maid was often mistreated by Jiang Yunxian. Seeing that the original host's maid actually dared to hit her, Jiang Yunxian was seething with hatred. "Hongdo, how dare you? I am the eldest young lady, don't you recognize me?" Hongdo raised her chin arrogantly and snorted coldly. "The master and madam have made it clear, they have no daughter who would elope with someone. You have been disowned. Now, the minister's household recognizes only my mistress as the legitimate young lady. Seeing Jiang Yunxian being struck, Xiao Changming was heartbroken and came to confront us. What are you trying to do? Xiana is still your own sister. No matter what, I couldn't be bothered to argue with him and started wildly spoiling the plot. Why do you think she came back? The scholar she eloped with was not a good man. At first, the two lived a peaceful life for a few months with the money she had stolen, but the scholar, who appeared honest on the surface, secretly indulged in drinking, gambling, and womanizing, and soon lost all the money. When the money ran out and creditors came knocking, the scholar sold her off. My poor half-sister, her jade-like arms have been a pillow for 1,000 men, and her crimson lips have been tasted by 10,000. Now that she has finally managed to escape, she came straight to you, Your Highness. Please do not let down her devoted heart. After saying this, under the astonished gazes of everyone, I let out a villainous laugh, got into the carriage and left, leaving behind a darkened and petrified Xiao Changming and Jiang Yunxian. Hongdo, Your Highness, the Crown Prince has returned from his inspection of the camp today. Me, great, I'm going back to stick close to my Crown Prince. Later, I heard that Jiang Yunxian became Xiao Changming's chambermaid, suffering both physical and emotional abuse from him, thus embarking on the path of a tragic romance heroine. As for me, because I knew how to speak up and chose the right person, I not only walked the path of a sweet romance heroine but also that of a satisfying, empowering one. Under my care and warmth, Xiao Changheng did not turn dark. Instead, he focused wholeheartedly on his career and eventually ascended to the throne. At the coronation ceremony, the court officials proposed that a country cannot be without a ruler for even a day, and the imperial harem cannot be without a mistress for even a day, urging Xiao Changheng to establish an empress. Xiao Changheng glanced at me, the corner of his mouth slightly upturned as he feigned a troubled expression. When I was the crown prince, I only had one consort by my side. Even if I wanted to establish an empress now, I wouldn't know who to choose. I recall she was the legitimate daughter of Minister Jiang's family, wasn't she? My scoundrel of a father was so excited his face turned red. Yes, that's my daughter, Xiao Changheng nodded. All right, then it's her. The scumbag father was immediately surrounded by flattering praises. Congratulations, Minister Jiang, you're mistaken, it should be addressed as the imperial father-in-law now. To maintain my innocent, delicate white lotus persona, I bit my lip, tears welling in my eyes, and wanted to say, I don't know, Your Majesty, is it only the Empress being installed? Xiao Changheng looked at him with a puzzled expression. Didn't you all want to install an Empress, now that we have an Empress? What more could you possibly be dissatisfied with? After all, he had promised me, one lifetime, one love. I can be the Emperor, but I must be the Empress, and there can be no other consorts. Because later on, he truly fell for me. If he doesn't listen to me, I won't snuggle with him at night. Xiao Changheng, who was already the emperor, snuggled close to me. My beloved consort, are you satisfied? I nodded, very satisfied, very satisfied. He flipped through the fire avoidance illustrated manual in his hand, pausing on an indescribable page that required one's own imagination. Then, I pounced on him and kissed him. Whatever you say, the end.